Ready to get y'all theory on, bitch?
And this is where I'm going to jump in and tell you my off-the-wall crazy theory.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Theory Time with Pleeka. I'm Jerome.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're talking about theories in True Detective Season 3. So I got a couple of my theories off of Reddit. Nick has a couple off the dome. He watched every episode like 7 times today.
That's not even true.
No, you did a lot of watching it this morning, though.
I watched the first and second episode again today.
Yeah, then you watched the third and the fourth like yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've seen him a lot more than I have, but I've been reading Reddit. A lot of people think it's either the mom or think it's Wayne on Reddit. Like, that seems to be
That's the
his name
trend.
is Wayne, right?
Yeah.
Every time I say that, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. But I think it's because they call him Detective Hayes.
Yeah.
So I'll read a
Purple
couple.
haze.
I'll read a couple of mine, and then you can discuss what you want,
Okay.
Big Bappa. So I'm gonna go. The first one I got. This one I thought was very interesting. We've talked about this a lot. So this one is called the interviewer theory. The interviewer is actually a detective, and she's trying to get Hayes to confess to what she has found out that he did in the woods in 1980. They set it up differently not to scare Hayes away. It would make sense that the interviewer is showing Hayes a tiny bit of info, like with the uncle's skeleton and stuff like that. So it's just basically saying...
So they think
this first one is not necessarily saying he did the crime, like
Right.
killing the girl, but that he did something criminally in the 90s is when they hid that thing in the woods, and that the interview is really about getting that information out of him. And then people have gone more off that too. Like this next one is the true crime show is fake. My latest theory is the true crime show is fake. It's being filmed with Wayne not actually on a television show, but it's a sham, and it's investigating him to jog his memory and to trick him into revealing things that he hid in the 1980s/90s. And there also is some stuff that like his son and Eliza are like working together. Lots of that. I like bits of these theories, but there's bits of it too that like I just feel like don't work.
Well, I think the point of the show is the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he's the star, so he's the point. But like, those kids getting taken, like, has fucked up his whole life. I mean, he got him together with his wife, but then she writes a book, and that kind of seems to separate him.
Mm-hmm.
So to just trick him at the end, it was something he did. It seems off to me, but I mean, you never know.
But if he did do if he did that, part of their like evidence too of how he could be the killer and like how they're jogging his memory is we've never actually seen him driving, so we could see him driving like episode 5 or 6, and it could be the brown sedan or whatever.
Oh, they think he has a brown sedan?
But like potentially, because we haven't seen him driving the show yet. And then when he goes and gets like every time he's gotten evidence, he's kind of just appeared there. Like the first episode, when they did it, he was with everybody, so that one made sense. But like when he went back and found all the toys, he was just in the woods, and we saw that scene. Stuff like that, he's just kind of been there.
Yeah.
And then I guess I don't particularly remember this, but I guess when they got the radio call to go to the house when like the boy and the girl first went missing,
Yeah.
he knew exactly where the house was, I guess, and told his partner how to get there.
Yeah, I remember that. They're driving in the car, and the partner, Roland, looks at him and says, that and asks him where it's at. And he's like, oh, because so he knew.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for sure. I just took that as he knows the area, and the other guy didn't.
That's how I did too originally with stuff. Because like he like all like him getting Everett, I just figured he knew the place very well.
And one of the first times that they go and look for evidence, when they're like everybody goes this way, and then he goes
like the opposite way. Yeah,
and they explain that he likes to work on his own. So that kind of explains away him
doing it too. Yeah,
yeah.
But it also makes sense someone like that
Oh no,
it makes sense both ways. But I really like the theory of him being the killer and doing that. But at the same time, I would rather be like a cult and connected to season 1.
Yeah,
me too. And I feel like especially with in the next one they have the photo of Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. It's like why would I asked you this when we did our review on it? Why would she be showing that picture to them or to him in the interview if it didn't connect to the case at all?
Right.
Like, it's not. She's just like, oh wait, I'm gonna scroll through the news real quick and show you my laptop while we do this interview. Like, it had to maybe connected.
It seems like the dolls just remind me of season 1.
They did that. Like, that's not especially the same people making it. It's not a coincidence that they did
Yeah.
that. And it's so like it's the dolls are familiar. There's that picture. I read on Reddit. I didn't save this one, but there's a girl. It's Marie something. She goes missing in season 1, and then it says the mom says like she went off with her dad and she was okay with it, blah blah blah. But then the mom ends up going into Vegas and that, and they said that story in season 1 is very similar to this one. The girl goes missing, and then eventually down the line the mom goes to Vegas, and in this case the mom died. But they're saying, what if the cult takes the kids and promises the moms a better life, and like that's why they go to Vegas is because that's where the kids are gonna end up or something. But like I saw there were similarities with that story too.
I could, yeah. I feel like it's connected. One reason I feel that way is because season 1 was so great,
Mm-hmm.
and season 2 was not so great. So they want to come back to that,
Yeah,
and I think
I think
they have.
that's what most things do too. If like they do one thing and it works, they do another thing and it's bad, they go right back and double down on the first thing that
Yeah.
worked, which would totally make sense for this.
I guess so. We know the mom, Lucy, has done something bad.
Yeah, and I watched a video today and the guy pointed out that when the teacher shows up there and is doing like she's like going just to give her like give them the stuff from their kids at the school, she breaks down when she pulls out her daughter's plate.
Yeah, you told me that,
Specifically.
and I knew she broke down. I didn't realize it was a daughter's plate.
Yeah, and she sees the daughter's plate that says like "I love my mom" or something like that, and she
Yeah,
starts
it said,
breaking
"I love
down.
mommy" or something.
Yeah, and she breaks down, starts crying. She's, I've done horrible things. Like I have the soul of a whore and all this stuff, which is we're like, why didn't she like? It could have just been the first thing she pulled out was gonna make her break down,
Right.
but it seems specific that it was the daughter that's missing and not the son that's dead.
The son's getting way overlooked in this fucking thing.
Yeah,
It's like he died, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's all about the girl." It's like, well, Jesus. My thinking is so we know she had an affair. We know she sleeps around. We know she feels guilty. I think they said she slept with the guy who works at the chicken place.
yeah. I've seen people think that it's the owner. People think maybe it's his son, but a lot of people are for sure like she's sleeping with that guy and. It's Julie is the daughter, right?
Yeah.
That she is most likely not the guy's daughter. That she's the daughter of the chicken guy.
So we've seen her in the video, grown up.
Yeah.
In the 90 timeline. I think the mom had something to do with giving her to somebody.
I think so too.
And then she feels bad.
And yeah, she feels terrible for it because it backfired, got her son killed, and
I think that's why
all
she
that
feels
stuff.
terrible. I think she thinks she's doing something good until the son dies, and that's why she feels bad. I think Woodard, the Indian guy, is going to get blamed for it.
I think he's either gonna get blamed for that or blamed for all the killing that's gonna happen at like the end of last episode.
I think he's
going to
get blamed for both.
And that would be I could see that.
I think once he's like taken down or whatever, I think they're going to be like, hey, easy out. He must have did. Although there's no evidence.
Yeah, but
So
I mean, we don't, they could uncover something as they have him for that makes it look like that. I saw that there's also people think that in that shootout, like, Roland's gonna get hurt, and that's why he's limping in the 90s and stuff,
Yeah,
which totally makes sense. That'd be a perfect opportunity for that to happen.
yeah.
Especially because I guess you can see in the trailer he goes like around the back, and he did set up that grenade around the back when we saw him when he came back.
Oh, yeah.
So that could happen. I also saw that Hayes might accidentally shoot another officer or something. Like that's a theory, and that's why he gets fired. Like because it's gonna be a big shootout, something like that might happen, and then that's why he quits or whatever, gets fired, whatever going on.
There's only one problem with that. He doesn't quit till the 90s.
Oh, it's till the 90s.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just what I read on Reddit.
I'm pretty sure. Well, because when I was rewatching today, we came across I think her name is Elise. It's Elise or Lisa.
It's Liza, I think.
Maybe. She's interviewing him, and she said in the 90s, in the 90s case, when she said you quit the PD, did that have anything to
do with Juliana and the dad, yeah.
Yeah, Julie coming back and what happened with her and her father.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess that could be someone else.
I doubt it, though.
I mean, it could be because in episode 1 or 2 they do put it out there that might not be her real dad. It might be the guy from the chicken farm.
Mm-hmm.
So when she said with her father, it could be.
Oh, I guess it could be. Yeah, okay. It could be that.
I took it as so I think
So
they
but
find her.
she didn't say Julie comes back though. She just said what happened with Julie and her father though, right?
No, I'm reading into it that she comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm how I think that scene is because I think it'd be weird if she came back because then what would be the point of them investigating it in 2015? You think they'd kind of solve it then? But so I think maybe her resurfacing, like they found that footage at Walgreens and all that bringing it back up, maybe like we talked about, maybe made her what's the guy that's supposedly her dad? His name Tom. So I think it's maybe her resurfacing and then the case coming back up because like we saw he's fine. Like he was hanging out with the other detective and all that. He seems good. He's like, oh yeah, she OD'd, but whatever. Maybe her coming back up just makes him like go downhill again. And maybe that's why she's like, maybe he felt bad for that. Like, it just, like, ruined his life again. And she was asking that, maybe that's why he quit? Like, that's what she was asking?
Yeah, is that a reason for him to quit, though? Like,
we don't know how bad he gets.
Like,
so.
Roland's actually the one.
Like, closer to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because that's the only other thing I could think of him at affecting him. Because, like, if she comes back, it's weird to me that they would even try to.
Well, if she comes back and then she then points the finger at him for something, it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. But if she's like, yeah, he's like creeping me out or something, I don't know. Because we have seen him in the 90 timeline and he is doing better, but we haven't seen like any contact. If they do find her,
yeah, see, I think.
You think she just disappears again?
I won't like it if she comes back in the 90s and she's like back at their house or whatever, and she's like, yeah, he did it. Like, to me, that'd be weird, and I wouldn't like that. Especially because they're investigating in 2015. So I hope that's not the case. I hope it's something different.
Well, and they're not really investigating. They're looking. I guess they are.
Well, but like she's making a documentary, and then his son asked her, "Whatever, are you investigating this again?" And he's like, "No." Like, why would he even think to keep investigating it? Why would that be a question? If the girl came back, because like you think they'd talk to her and figure out what happened, and
I think it's gonna be something.
Closed.
I don't think it's gonna be something simple where it's like, oh yeah, I think it's gonna be something fucking crazy. Like if
but what I'm saying is, if she came back in the 90s, you think even if it took them like years after that, like by like 2005 or something, they would have maybe solved it or figured it out, like because it doesn't seem like anybody's like actively doing it in 2015, so it'd be weird for it to even come up again to me.
Yeah, I guess
If she
that's just what I think was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether, I mean, just reading into what she said, I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but I think something happened between the daughter and the father in the 90s that made him quit.
Yeah, that's weird.
So, like, to me, it had to be something major. And we know the case has messed with him the whole time. So, like, and then so if you put... if you connect season 1 with this and you put like maybe there's like at one point she says something about the dolls being, I forget how she called it, but she mentioned it being like a sign for like potential like rings of people doing stuff with kids.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's where the people's like sex cult and shit is coming from.
Yeah,
because I don't know where else they'd get that from.
No, that's part of it, and so like I think that's like I don't think the dad would be part of that. He just doesn't seem like he seems like he.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why I don't think. That's why I think it'd be weird if she came back and she had pointing fingers at him.
But I guess what I was thinking is maybe that she is like something happened between them younger,
mm-hmm.
and maybe that's why the mom was like, "Here, go here." But so maybe the whole reason that her mom pushed her away is because the dad was doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. What I read, but some people think about like why the mom would send him away is that the chicken people are like involved in that cult stuff, and they were because didn't he said his granddaughter went missing, right?
His granddaughter's missing, yeah.
So what I read was
that's why they started the charity.
He gave his granddaughter to the cult, like she's 2 years old or whatever. And then, so his daughter got mad. So then he's like, oh, I have a daughter with this girl. Maybe she can get away from there and, she'll have a better life. She won't be there. But then during that exchange, something happened and
That's why the son died.
the son died. But I feel like that's kind of too simple.
The whole thing is, like, every time we discuss something, in the back of my mind is it can't be that easy.
Yeah, but also like they never said this was like some like we're just making it out to be a big case.
That's true. Well, it did it for
Just because season 1 ended with like it was like that stuff doesn't necessarily mean this one is going to.
Well, if you remember the in season 1 they had those videos and like they played the one video for someone, and it was like just pornographic like crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And remember what he showed Woody Harrelson. He's like, "Did you watch that?" And he's like, "I had to, so I would know what's on it."
Yeah.
They never solved any of that stuff. They
That's
got
just
the main killer.
Yeah, so it could be within there.
Yeah. That's that would be. I think that would be really cool.
So what do you think is the likelihood of like Woody Harrelson or Matthew McConaughey showing up for an episode? Because I feel like it's not going to happen. I feel like there's no way. I will shit my pants while I watch the show if they show up. There's no
God,
way.
I hope I'm watching it with you when that happens.
I don't think they'll show up at all.
I would say 25% that one of them could show up. Woody Harrelson would show up in anything. He was in Solo, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
It may not be Matthew McConaughey, but they are buddies. We've seen their picture on the next on. I feel like that's a tease, and maybe we don't see them and they just talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
But I could see them popping up for like a split second and just not even like announcing either like episode 8.
Yeah, because HBO doesn't do shit like that.
Yeah, and they wouldn't have to like. I mean, it would be. I could see it happening. The chances less than 50%, maybe like 25%.
Yeah, I think it's very, very low.
I think it's pretty low, but I also feel like it's been a while since season 1, and they might just say fuck it, throw me in an episode.
Yeah, part of the reason I think Woody Harrelson is a bigger possibility. I've heard Matthew McConaughey say he's not coming back. They've asked him that like while they were getting ready for this season, and it could have just been him because he was in the season being like no.
Yeah.
But he said he'll never come back to True Detective. He said that was their story. They finished it. He doesn't want to do any more. But I could see him saying that if he was already... Like, why would he admit it if it's going to be a secret, too?
Well, yeah, totally.
So, I don't know. But I do think it's more likely Woody Harrelson would show up.
Yeah. Although he could be a private investigator at that point.
Well, it depends when he shows up.
Oh, that's true.
Could be in the 90s. It could be really be any time. There's one other theory I read. It doesn't really have to do with the daughter or anything, but it's about what supposedly they hid in the woods.
Oh.
And it's through some investigating, they find out the uncle is involved in like child porn, could even be this sex cult, something like that, to tie it into there.
Mm-hmm.
And they kill him and bury him in the woods or whatever.
And that's what they're hiding?
Yeah, and that's what they hid in the woods. And that's why the guy's like, hey, you remember what we did? And he's like, yeah, I remember not to talk about it. So it could be like that. And that, I feel like if that does happen, that kind of ties into Eliza interviewing him about what they hid. Because the first theory was that she's just interviewing about what they hid in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And she did show him just a picture of the bones last episode of that guy. So I could see that one happening. Especially because was it the first episode that they take that guy and like
second episode
they beat him up and then made him get out of town.
Yeah.
So I could see him doing that, and then if the guy's into child porn and shit, I can see them going all the way and killing him.
Didn't they say they found the bones at a prison, or no? He got killed in a
I thought she just said he's dead. I could look it up real quick.
I can that they obviously did something that he doesn't want other people to find out, and that would
I feel like that would be a big enough thing to be like, yeah, we can't talk about this.
Yeah, it would be weird because he seems like a good guy for him to just. Although they did beat the shit out of that guy. Although, yeah, I don't know. I could see it. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see anything about how he died. It just literally says that he's dead, but that could be because they haven't filled in the information yet. So did you have any theories that you came up with?
Well, other than the one that you said that you didn't like and you hope it doesn't happen. The one thing, it's not really a theory, it's just a thought. So, like, if say the guy I think his name's Hoyt, is the guy in charge of
Yeah,
the
I saw that a lot on Reddit.
if he's really, like, has something to do with it, he should be very influential in the town.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that's the district attorney, I don't remember his name. He's the district attorney in, I think, 90.
Mm-hmm.
And in 80, he's not there, but he's, like, bucking for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's protecting him somehow. Because if you remember, he did that press conference and kind of, like, fucked up their first thing evidence when they wanted to go around to every house.
Yeah, and he just, like, no, put it on the news.
Yeah, and he put it on
yeah,
the news.
because he saw it when he was on the date with the teacher or whatever at the bar.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like he might be connected to covering it up.
I can see that because they've mentioned him in multiple timelines now.
Yeah, and then also remember in the 90s, he came out and sat down with Roland and then, like, kind of chastised Wayne a little bit and was like, hey, be good, and then maybe you can get back into major crimes.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously he's not good, and he says something, you know.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see something goes down in 80 that makes Wayne get put into just paperwork.
Yeah.
And then something in 90 makes him quit, and it's the same case.
Yeah.
So
there's so many things in this that, like, I really wish we could just get some information.
yeah.
But we had 4 episodes, and we ultimately just only still know a girl was missing and a boy got killed, and a detective got fired off the case a couple times. Like, we really know shit about it.
So do you think that the son is having an affair with the director, though?
With Liza?
Yeah.
I think so. And what I found interesting, too, is someone pointed out that it kind of parallels his dad's relationship with the mom. Like, instead of making a book, she's making a documentary about the case, trying to get information, and, like, he's a cop, too. Like, and they're, like, for some reason, like, maybe that case turns people on because, like, they got together and doing it, and now he's supposedly at her hotel banging.
When I rewatched, I tried to watch their body language and their eyes, like, to see if they, like, made eye contact with anything, and they really, I didn't see any hints that they were together.
Mm-hmm.
But I did watch when Wayne asked him at the police station if he's seen her again since that. And he said, no, not since she pulled that shit. And he said, okay, son. But it's hard to read him because he's 70 years old.
Well, then, too, because, like, when he shows up to her place and he's like, is someone here? And she's like, oh, no, I'm all by myself. And he's like, oh, sorry, my mistake. Like, there you could kind of tell, like, oh, he's playing into
totally
his thing a little bit.
And they focus in on the 2 glasses.
Yeah.
And in that point, it was almost like he looked at the camera and went, okay.
Yeah. I do think they're together. I don't know what that'll do because there's a rumor people think that they're the detectives investigating him in the future. But
that would be weird.
It would be really.
I find it hard
weird.
to believe they would let someone investigate their own father.
That's what I was gonna say. But the only thing that would maybe like he could persuade them to let him is be like, he's losing his memory. He'll trust me. It'll be the good, and that's me. That's why they're doing it as a TV show to like ease it out of him and not freak him out. And like if anybody else just brought him in, he would like freak out and like totally lose his mind. That's the only thing. That's the only reason I could think maybe it would happen, but it does seem very unlikely.
Do you think the mom has anything to do with it?
I really do like that theory as well.
The more I watch, the less I think it.
Especially when like, it makes more sense that the actual little girl's, that Julie's mom, did it.
Yeah.
But I really like that they did heard the teacher doing it, and like then she married Wayne and wrote a book about it and stuff like that. That's really neat. But there was a couple things last episode that I was like, maybe not.
Well, so like, she does say to him that first date they went on that she's gone to St. Louis twice this year and pretend to be another person.
Yeah.
Like, and I was thinking to myself, why is that in there? That's in there for a reason.
Yeah, is very specific and weird.
There's no dialogue in this
and
show.
It could be because those are the 2 times that she's took little girls and brought them out of town and pretended to be someone else to get them somewhere safe.
God, you're evil.
But like,
Yeah.
and it's weird. But then at the same time, it could just be like a little thing that you wrote in, like a red herring, to be like, oh, she's weird, but it means nothing.
It could. I think it's one or two things. I think either she's putting herself in there because she wants to write a book and she wants to investigate. She wants to be part of it. Or she's putting herself in there to take away from, like, something connecting her.
Yeah, she's being like a little, like she's kind of being Ted Bundy.
Yeah, I think it's more that she just wants to investigate. But I was thinking, what if, like, she does something that Wayne catches her and that's what he's hiding?
Yeah, that's what I originally thought. That's when she brought up, like, oh, you hid, because I was like, she knows what he hid in the woods. She knows about it, because she reminded him in 2015.
And what if their daughter saw it and that's why she's no longer in the picture?
That could be it. That would be interesting.
You know, that's what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm. Like, so do you think the son has no idea, or do you think the son just doesn't care?
Probably no idea.
Okay.
That would be my guess.
No one tells Cyborg anything?
No one tells Cyborg anything. I don't know. That would be, if, like, someone stuck a gun in my head, that's what I would think, is that he hid something for the wife.
That's what I originally thought. That's what, to me, totally played into that theory, was that he hid it for her and then feels bad about it in the future, but then...
Because if you look at his...
So do you think in the 2015 timeline, when he's going he's getting this information from his son because he just needs closure for the case, and he's doing... Did he forget that she did it, or... Because that's what doesn't make sense, is he's still trying to solve the case, but if he hid something for her, he would know that she did it.
Yeah, I don't know. You're right.
That it doesn't make sense then. But you can easily just be like, well, he forgot. Like, we just need, like, that little line, and we would know.
Yeah, but he's not forgetting shit like that, I don't think. I think he's forgetting to get off the bus, or he's forgetting to...
Well, because that's just what we've seen.
But he's forgetting, like, where he's going. That's the way that works. Like, you don't forget, like...
Well, I mean, but there is reasons why he's reading her book again at reminding him of the case. He was giving himself memos. So he's not just forgetting that stuff.
No, he's forgetting everything. But I think the more recent stuff is easier to forget. I don't know. I don't know why else he would still be investigating.
I really hope...
But they do say that Eliza asked him, hey, did you have different thoughts and they didn't take you seriously because you were black?
Mm-hmm.
And he says no, but no one believed him.
Yeah.
So I think he's going, hey, maybe I was right and maybe it's this. Maybe...
Oh, maybe it wasn't her?
Yeah, maybe it was something else and he hit some... I don't know.
So they wrongfully convict someone in the 80s, and then in the 90s he thinks it's her, and then in the 2015 he thinks it's someone else?
Yeah, that seems very... that doesn't sound like a good story at all.
Yeah, no.
No, in the 80s they wrongly convict Woodrow, I think.
I think so, too.
In the 90s, I don't know that they convict anybody.
I think they just... I guess in the 90s... Well, I was thinking for him, like, he wrongfully thinks it's his wife, supposedly. And then his at 15, he's trying to prove that she didn't do it, maybe?
No, I think he's still trying to prove whatever he was trying to prove in the 90s. I just don't think he ever got the chance to do it.
Oh, okay.
And he apparently waited 15 years to try.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's...
Whatever it was, it fucked with him. And that's why I kind of think it's his wife. Plus, like, if you look at his, like... I don't want to say dreams, because it's not really a dream because he's awake. But they're almost like flashbacks.
Yeah.
Hallucinations. I don't know what you want to call them. His wife was a fucking bitch.
You know what I saw someone point out? And I don't know how this would even happen or how it played into the story, but they said, like, first we just saw him having dreams of his wife, and she kept, like, nagging him, kind of being a bitch to him and all this stuff, brought up the woods and all that. And the other people we saw in it was all people he killed. What if something happens and he killed his wife?
Oh, and he hit her in the fucking woods?
Well, yeah, I don't know. But, because they said, we've only seen people that he's killed in there. Because there's also that guy that no one knows who it is in the suit.
Yeah.
That's who they wrongfully convict, and then that guy dies in prison or commits suicide or something. What?
His little daughter running behind her.
Oh. Well, wasn't that in... No, that wasn't in real time, because they were adults then.
Yeah. He was old and she ran down the hall.
So what if?
So you think he killed his wife and his fucking?
Well, the only problem with that is that there's an actress cast as his daughter.
Yeah. Well, that could be for a dream too. Thought about that.
Could
before.
could be, yeah. God damn it, I don't know. That's interesting though,
Yeah.
because we've only really seen dead people in there,
Yeah. Dead people in the little
and
girl.
until we all of a sudden don't, like next episode or something. But
Yeah, that's one of those things. If we've only seen dead people until he sees them. But yeah, it's because it's his past fucking with him.
yeah. Any other theories or things you want to bring up about the show before we wrap this up?
I can't think of any other theories. I really like the show.
Yeah, I do too. I just want more fucking information, but it's not a bad thing.
No,
The show's entertaining. Then it's really, it's good when I watch the whole episode and I'm like, bro, that was good. I didn't learn a fucking thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
realize that until it's over.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's entertaining the whole time.
For sure, and it's all just speculation at this point, which makes it fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of reminds me of Westworld.
It
Like in
it
a
does for me.
slam?
It's like they took True Detective season 1 and then took the idea of Westworld season 2, because like they wanted the Reddit audience or something, and they're
Yeah.
like, let's give them a TV show, and then we'll just take every answer you get out of every episode until the last 2 and throw it away until then. Cause that's what, like, Westworld does a lot of that, where it's like you hear something and right before you get information, it cut to a different like just mixes up the whole show, or like all of a sudden there's a dream sequence where you see things and that confuses you, and
Well,
it seems like they kind of mix the ideas.
if you remember, like in December, I rewatched season 1, and it was fucking awesome. And then I rewatched season 2.
It took you like 7 years to finish
It
that
did take
one.
me a little longer to finish that one. Although by the end, I was like, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not compared to like, I mean, it's bad compared to True Detective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it went a lot of different places that it could have just, which makes me wonder about this. Like if it's gonna, you know what I
That's true,
mean?
yeah.
It just wasn't as good as season 1. I mean, no one could claim that.
Yeah.
And so what I was really, really hoping is that this would capture my imagination for 8 weeks
Mm-hmm.
before Game of Thrones starts up again, and it's only going to be 7 weeks because they played 2 the first night to fuck with
Yeah.
us. But it has. It's totally held up, so I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to watch the next 4.
Yeah, I hope we get some stuff soon.
We'll get something next episode that'll make us fucking want to talk.
Hopefully, yeah. If anybody else has any theories, you can comment that down below, or you could tweet at us. But thanks for watching this episode of Theory Time and Pleeka. If you enjoyed this, comment down below. Maybe we'll do some more of these as the episodes come out. You can listen to this podcast on Anchor or YouTube, even iTunes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Ready to get y'all theory on, bitch?